concerns about GFCI, ground fault circuit interrupters, tripping and ice cream machines are valid. GFCIs are designed to trip when they detect an imbalance in current, often caused by faults or ground faults. A freezer's compressor can induce current fluctuations, potentially leading to nuisance tripping. Several mitigation strategies exist. Firstly, Class A GFCIs are engineered to better withstand nuisance tripping from inductive loads like compressors, making them a superior choice for freezers. Secondly, time delay GFCIs offer a brief delay before tripping, which can mitigate nuisance tripping caused by compressors. Thirdly, dedicating a circuit solely to the ice cream machine can minimize current fluctuations stemming from other appliances sharing the same circuit. Bypassing the GFCI is generally not recommended, as it undermines the GFCI safety function. However, in locations where GFCI protection isn't mandatory, such as some commercial kitchens, it could be considered, but this is not generally recommended. Article 422.51 of the National Electrical Code, or NEC, mandates GFCI protection for outdoor receptacles near water sources. However, the NEC provides an exception for receptacles supplying equipment in a dedicated space with limited access. If the ice cream machine resides in a dedicated room or cabinet with restricted access, this exception may apply. Recommendations include consulting with a qualified electrician to assess the situation and determine the best course of action. If a GFCI is required, opt for a Class A or time delay type to minimize nuisance tripping. Consider dedicating a circuit to the ice cream machine. If the machine is installed in a dedicated space with limited access, bypassing the GFCI requirement might be possible, but a qualified electrician should make the determination. Therefore, firstly, understand the function of a GFCI, a ground fault circuit interrupter. It is a safety device designed to protect individuals from electrical shock. It constantly monitors the current flowing through a circuit. If it detects that some of the current is leaking to ground, indicating a potential ground fault, it quickly interrupts the circuit to prevent injury. This leakage current is often very small, typically around 5 mA. Secondly, the reason why ice cream machines and other appliances with motors, like refrigerators and freezers, can cause nuisance tripping is due to the nature of their operation. These appliances use compressors, which have inductive loads. When the compressor starts or stops, it can create transient voltage spikes and current imbalances in the circuit. These fluctuations can sometimes be misinterpreted by the GFCI as a ground fault, leading to an unwanted trip. Thirdly, the difference between Class A GFCIs and standard GFCIs is crucial. Class A GFCIs are the standard type used in most residential applications. They are designed to trip when a ground fault of 5 mA or more is detected. However, they can be more susceptible to nuisance tripping from inductive loads. No GFCIs, often referred to as improved or commercial grade, are designed to be more tolerant of these fluctuations. They may use advanced filtering or other techniques to distinguish between genuine ground faults and harmless transient spikes. These are frequently marketed as Class A GFCIs but with enhanced performance. Fourthly, time delay GFCIs work by introducing a short delay, typically a fraction of a second, before tripping. This delay allows brief current surges, like those caused by a compressor starting, to pass without triggering a trip. However, if a true ground fault persists for longer than the delay, the GFCI will still trip to protect against electrical shock. Fifthly, dedicating a circuit to the ice cream machine is a good practice for several reasons. It ensures that the machine has its own dedicated power supply, minimizing the risk of voltage drops or other electrical disturbances caused by other appliances on the same circuit. It also reduces the likelihood of current fluctuations from other devices affecting the GFCI's operation. Sixthly, bypassing the GFCI should only be considered as a last resort and only after careful evaluation by a qualified electrician. It's important to understand that bypassing the GFCI removes a critical layer of safety protection. If the ice cream machine develops a ground fault, anyone who touches it could be at risk of electrical shock. If a GFCI is not required by code, that does not mean it is unsafe, but it is important to check with a licensed electrician to ensure safety and compliance with the NEC. Seventhly, NEC Article 422.51 specifically addresses GFCI protection for appliances. It generally requires GFCI protection for 125 volt, 15 amp and 20 amp receptacles located in certain areas, such as outdoors, in bathrooms, and in kitchens. However, there are exceptions for appliances that are not easily moved, such as refrigerators and freezers. These exceptions are often based on the assumption that these appliances are grounded and that any ground fault would be readily apparent. Eighthly, if the ice cream machine is installed in a dedicated room or cabinet with restrict access, the NEC may allow you to bypass the GFCI requirement. This is because the risk of accidental contact with the machine is reduced. However, it's essential to consult with a qualified electrician and your local electrical inspector to determine if this exception applies in your specific situation. They will consider factors such as the accessibility of the machine, the presence of other electrical equipment in the area, and the overall safety of the installation. Ninthly, before making any decisions, it's crucial to consult with a qualified electrician who is familiar with the NEC and local electrical codes. They can assess your specific situation, evaluate the risks and benefits of different options, and recommend the safest and most code-compliant solution. They can also perform electrical testing to identify any potential ground faults or other issues that could contribute to nuisance tripping. Tenthly, when selecting a GFCI, look for one that is specifically designed for use with appliances that have motors. These GFCIs often have features that help to reduce nuisance tripping, such as advanced filtering or time delay circuitry. Read the product specifications carefully to ensure that the GFCI is suitable for your application. 11thly, ensure proper grounding. A properly grounded ice cream machine is less likely to cause nuisance tripping of a GFCI. Make sure that the machine is connected to a grounding conductor that is properly sized and installed. Check the grounding connection regularly to ensure that it is tight and free of corrosion. 12thly, consider using a line conditioner. A line conditioner is a device that filters out voltage spikes and other electrical noise from the power supply. This can help to reduce nuisance tripping of a GFCI caused by transient voltage fluctuations. 13thly, monitor the ice cream machine's performance. Keep an eye on the machine's operation and note any unusual behavior, such as excessive vibration or humming. These could be signs of an electrical problem that could lead to a ground fault and cause the GFCI to trip. 14thly, implement a regular maintenance schedule. Regular maintenance can help to prevent electrical problems that could cause nuisance tripping of a GFCI. Inspect the machine's wiring, connections, and components regularly for signs of wear or damage. Clean the machine regularly to remove dust and debris that could interfere with its operation. 15thly, keep detailed records. Maintain detailed records of all electrical work performed in the ice cream machine, including GFCI trips, repairs, and maintenance. This information can be helpful in troubleshooting problems and identifying potential causes of nuisance tripping. 16thly, consider a GFCI with advanced diagnostics. Some GFCIs have built-in diagnostics that can help to identify the cause of a trip. These diagnostics can provide valuable information about the nature of the fault, such as whether it is a true ground fault or a transient voltage spike. This can help you to troubleshoot the problem more effectively and prevent future nuisance trips. 17thly, adjust the GFCI trip threshold. Some GFCIs allow you to adjust the trip threshold, which is the amount of leakage current that will cause the GFCI to trip. By increasing the trip threshold, you can reduce the likelihood of nuisance tripping caused by small current fluctuations. However, it's important to note that increasing the trip threshold also reduces the level of protection provided by the GFCI. Therefore, it's essential to consult with a qualified electrician before making any adjustments to the trip threshold. 18thly, use a high-quality GFCI receptacle. Not all GFCI receptacles are created equal. Some are more sensitive to nuisance tripping than others. To minimize the risk of nuisance tripping, use a high-quality GFCI receptacle from a reputable manufacturer. 19thly, install the GFCI receptacle correctly. Improper installation of a GFCI receptacle can also lead to nuisance tripping. Make sure that the receptacle is wired correctly and that the grounding connection is tight and secure. Follow the manufacturer's instructions carefully when installing the receptacle. 20th, test the GFCI receptacle regularly. Test the GFCI receptacle regularly to ensure that it is working properly. To test the receptacle, press the test button on the receptacle. This should cause the receptacle to trip and cut off power to the circuit. If the receptacle does not trip, it is not working properly and should be replaced. 21st, document all decisions and work. Maintain a record of all decisions made regarding GFCI protection for the ice cream machine, as well as any electrical work performed. This documentation can be helpful in the event of an inspection or if there are any questions about the installation in the future. 22nd, ensure that all electrical work is performed by qualified personnel. The electrical work should only be performed by qualified electricians who are familiar with the NEC and local electrical codes. This will help to ensure that the work is done safely and correctly. 23rd, remain vigilant. Even after taking all of the above steps, it is still possible for nuisance tripping to occur. Remain vigilant and monitor the ice cream machine's performance. If you experience repeated nuisance tripping, consult with a qualified electrician to troubleshoot the problem. Keep in mind that electrical codes and best practices can evolve over time. It's crucial to stay updated on the latest requirements and recommendations to ensure the safety and reliability of your electrical installations. Subscribe to industry publications, attend training courses, and consult with experts to stay informed. This comprehensive approach combines technical knowledge, practical experience, and a commitment to safety. By following these steps, you can minimize the risk of electrical hazards and ensure the safe and reliable operation of your ice cream machine.